everyone, so I've decided to clone my top. So start off with a little sketch here. I'm not the best artist, so this is an effort to sketch the pieces that I saw looking on the wrong side of the garment. So there's a front piece basically on a fold with the arm and the neck, and it's asymmetrical, so there's only one piece to cut for the front. It's actually shorter than the back. The back is where you have the design itself. There's a little piece here for the sleeve, which is sort of like a cap sleeve, but it has a little floaty type of effect. And then there is the back, which consists of 5 pieces in all. So there, it's on the fold here in the middle of this piece, and then part of the armhole and the sides consist of a kind of odd-shaped piece here, and leaving a cone, triangular cutout, and within that cone 3 other cones are going to fit in there to give it the flounce effect. So this is the first sketch of what I'm planning to do with this project. Okay, so I've started my cloning process and drafted the sleeve first, which was the easiest one. It's just a simple cap sleeve on the fold here, and I'll be cutting 2. I used a 1/2-inch seam allowance. It was fairly easy. Simply put the blouse down and traced with tracing wheel along the seams, and then the dots, I'm not sure if you can see, it comes out on the paper. The paper I'm using is a parchment paper, so it comes out on the paper, and I'm able to trace the straight edges. These are the only tools I have. Simple helix Oxford square, triangle square, and a plastic French curve. So the square helps me with the fold section, the parallel lines, the straight lines, and the French curve helps me with the curves along the armhole here. So that's it. So I traced it first, which is the solid line, and then I added 1/2-inch seam allowance, which is a dotted line, and now I have the scissors, which I'm gonna cut it out. First piece of the pattern drafted. Okay, so I'm moving on now. I've actually turned the blouse wrong side out, and tucked in sleeves, tucked in the back, because I'm about to trace the front. This is gonna be the fold right down the edge here, and this is a side seam with a little curvature from the armhole to the waist, so I'll pin that. And then this particular blouse, it's a asymmetrical blouse, so the back is actually longer than the front, so this bulk here is my tucking in the fabric for the back in order to be able to trace the front properly. So this is gonna be the front piece, and as I said, all I do is simply use a tracing wheel around all the edges and seams, and the fold, remove the garment, and I have the dot impressions from the tracing wheel where I could just trace and use my tools, the square for the straight lines and the curve, French curve for the armholes and the side. So basically making progress now with the second piece. The first piece I did was the sleeves, which were easy. So now this is the front, which is going to be one piece on the fold, and then I move to the back. Alright, so let's have a look at the finished pieces. There are 7 in all. I'll just have it here on the table. There's this front piece, which was done on the fold. So this is the front, the neck, the fold, and then a sort of curve front piece. That's a basic front piece. There are no darts, and it's just one piece on the fold. So that's one piece. The second piece is the sleeve at the top, right? And I showed you that one. The third piece is the back. Now the back is split up into 1, 2, and 5 pieces. So here you have the shape of the neck and the armhole and the back, and you're going to cut one of these on the fold, and then finishing up the armhole, there's this second odd shaped piece. Let me set it up. Okay, overlapping the seams there, so you see it completes the armhole. And notice what happens. There's a cone, and so that is a design feature. The design feature is at the back, and the back is very much longer than the front, tunic length, and so there is this cone shape. And so within that cone shape, these 3 other cone pieces are going to go into this to give a sort of flounce at the back, and so it covers those who have an ample back section there. So how does it work actually? Because the fabric here is just going to be very drapey, so you start with a larger piece and sew it all the way down, one seam there, and that way this section is set aside. On the other side you go about a third down, pick up the second larger cone, go all the way down that side, and then a half down, and then the smaller cone, all the way down that side. And that completes the project. So you'll see that flounce effect when I finish the actual top. Okay, so this is the layout. Here's what I usually have to do. I have to do it on the, I don't have a cutting table, so I do it on the dining table. And so this is the trick. I have to fold, pin first, and then fold in order to be able to cut the fabric. It works fine for me because my bones can't manage the floor. So this is the stage that I'm now at, the cutting, the layout, and now about the cut. Okay. Okay, it's cutting time. Here we go. Have to fold at one end and cut from the other. So this is what I've been doing in order to sew this fabric. It's very light, you see that? It's very paper thin. It's lighter than the paper workaround that I'm using, so it wasn't being stitched in a machine at all. For some reason, I guess because it needed to be stabilized. All other fabrics worked in the machine, and this one wouldn't. It just wouldn't stitch. So I came up with the idea, because I didn't have a walking foot, so what I did was just cut strips like these of the parchment paper, and affix it to the seams, pin, and then I actually stitch over this paper, and then the stitches perforate the paper, so it's easy to just tear the paper off when I'm done. And so this is what I have to do for every single seam, right down to the end, for every seam. And this is taking up a bit of time. Did some other changes as well. In order to do that, I had to change the foot to a Teflon foot. I'm using a ballpoint needle and rethreaded the machine to lower the tension just a bit. And but the trick really was using this strip of paper at the seam edges and stitching over it, and stitched over it. If I remove that paper, it just wouldn't stitch, it was skipping and all sort of thing. And I know it's just because of this fabric. So it's my first encounter with a finicky fabric, but it's slowing me down, but I'm almost heading to the finish. This is the strip to do the sides. Okay. Alright, guess what? I'm finished. My first successful cloning outfit. So I'm about to display it on a hanger for you to see. The video will end with some still images of the front and the back of this top that I cloned. If you're watching so far, thank you for watching. Bye.